I am going to burn your friend's car. It's making me very upset.
Hey there, Gold Makers. This is Reckles with WTBGold, and today we're going to be doing another Overwatch guide. So today we're talking about Symmetra. She is a level 1 out of 3 difficulty healer, and she doesn't actually have any healing, even though she's currently the highest win rate hero in the game. So let's talk about her abilities some. Her shift puts down Sentry Turrets. She starts off with 3 charges and can have a total of 6 Sentry Turrets out on the field at one time. It's got about a 1 second creation time once you put it down, but there's no cast time, so you can actually put these down while you're running away from someone if you want, but it's better to use them more strategically. Each turret does 15 damage per second in a really short range. If you played Team Fortress 2, think of these as the combat mini sentry guns rather than the regular sentries. Her E gives you a photon shield, a shield made out of light, but her E gives you a photon shield. This is a light, but shields. Her E gives you a photon shield. If you don't know how shields, her E gives you a photon shield. Her E gives you a photon shield. Her E gives a shield. Her E gives a photon shield. Her E gives a photon shield, which is all in line with her lore because she just makes things out of light. That's her thing. It's actually a really cool backstory. I like it. Yes! 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 Now, this is just... Her E gives you a photon shield. It's plus 50 health. They nerfed this from 75 recently. And if you don't know the difference between armor and shields, like Torbjörn puts out armor to everyone, and that mitigates 5 damage from every attack that deals 10 damage or more. So with shields like the one Symmetra casts, they don't actually reduce any damage taken, but after 3 to 4 seconds out of combat, that shield will regenerate. Now, the shields have a really low cooldown, and you can put it on multiple people at the same time. So, before a match starts, you want to be throwing shields on everyone while they're completely destroying the arcade. Try to find everyone, tell them to calm down. If you're playing in a group, like group up, let Symmetra cast shields on you, and then spread out from there. If you're on the defense though, everyone just runs off like a chicken with its head cut off, and so you just have to kind of follow around and hope you can get shields on everyone. Use the in-game voice comm to see if you missed anyone. Now, the shields are lost on death, so you need to be aware of anyone who dies so you can re-shield them as fast as possible. Don't die in order to get to them, but you know, do what you can. And last thing with this, the shields don't stack, so there's not really a benefit of running 2 Symmetras in the same game, but you can't put a shield on yourself, and a second Symmetra could. So, probably not a good idea to run 2 Symmetras. For a team comp idea, if you want a really tanky team, get a Symmetra with a Torbjörn, so your entire team has armor and shields. Now, moving on, her gun is called her photon projector, and it doesn't really look like it does anything if you just shoot it at nothing. But if someone walks in the way of your beam, or you shoot your beam at someone, it locks onto that target. So you can put down a turret where you're standing and just kind of jump around them, just bunny hop some, be annoying and hard to hit. For those of you like me who like to know the mathy stuff behind it all, the damage from her laser ticks 4 times a second. But it increases, so the first second it hits for 30 damage in ticks of 7 to 8. The second it hits for 90 damage in ticks of 15. And then the third and beyond, it ticks for 30 damage. So if you have someone that you're locked onto, stay locked onto them. Also, don't worry about trying to keep track of this. If you look on the top of the gun, there's actually an indicator that lets you know which charge level you're on. Alright, so that's her left click. Her right click fires this big energy light photon orb of death. And it does a ton of damage. It has a long charge time and a really slow travel time, but it hits for 125 damage. She is the hard counter to Bastion, who's one of the most annoying characters in the game. Bastion and Reinhardt both have shields, and this orb travels through the shield and does full damage to the person behind it. So you can force Bastion to reposition somewhere else if he's giving you trouble. This also works against Mai's Frost Walls. So she's a good little counter to Mai if you want to damage through those things. So because of this, if you're attacking and the other team is defending and has a bunch of turrets set up, a really good combo is Reinhardt with his shield and you with your plasma ball of death, and y'all can just charge forward and your shield on Reinhardt can keep healing him up. So let's talk about some strategy now, some gameplay groupthink. Each turret does 15 damage per second. And from the replays I've watched, if someone decides to walk into a spider web, a turret nest, if they decide they need to leave, they're going to be standing in range of your turrets for about 2 seconds. But if they decide to stay and kill the turrets, they're going to stand there for about 4 seconds. So each turret is going to do 30 to 60 damage. Over 200 damage is a good number to shoot for in order to take people down. In short, if a Tracer walks into your turret nest with her max health of 200, you're going to need more than 3 turrets set up. So any turret nests you're trying to do with the intent of killing someone, put down 4 or more turrets. 3 just isn't going to kill them. You can also use them to just scout the map. Genji absolutely hates turrets because he doesn't really have any healing, and if there is just a turret everywhere he goes, he's gonna die and he's not gonna be able to run around killing absolutely everyone in the world. Her last ability is the teleporter, and your placement determines where the end point of the teleport is. The teleporter is why you win games with her. Essentially, in these kind of games, there are only 2 bad things about dying. One, your team is now in a 5v6 rather than a 6v6, and also they're in that for the amount of time that you're respawning and then running back. Well, if you can cut down your run back by 10 seconds or 20 seconds, the map is even again. They can team wipe you, everyone can respawn and get back to the objective 5 seconds later. Since it's so ridiculously important to your team winning, I recommend one, putting it in kind of unknown places. Learn the maps ahead of time. Talk to other Symmetra players. There's lots of little cubby holes and back alleys on every map that you can use to put your teleporter down. Also, protect it with 1 or 2 turrets. Anyone trying to kill it, even if they succeed, they're gonna be at half health or less, and they're gonna be easy to pick off. So that is all I know about Symmetra, but if you have anything that you'd like to contribute to the conversation, leave it in the comments below. Also, let me know who you want to see next. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and if you want to watch my Torbjörn guide, you can do that now. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Even though she's currently the highest win rate hero in the game. Even though she's currently the highest win rate hero.